When you ask pilots which planes they love to fly, you'll notice that a few names come up again and again. It's not just about the size or how new the plane is. It's about how it feels in the air, how it responds to the pilot's touch, and how reliable it is when it matters most. Out of the dozens of passenger jets out there are 5 that consistently steal pilots' hearts, and each one has its own unique reason why pilots light up when they talk about flying them. Let's find out. The Boeing 757 has a special place in aviation. Introduced in the early 1980s, it was originally designed as a fuel-efficient replacement for the Boeing 727. But what made it famous wasn't just fuel efficiency. Pilots immediately realized this aircraft was something different. The engines, either Rolls-Royce RB 200s and 11s or Pratt & Whitney P W2000s, delivered so much thrust relative to the plane's weight that it felt overpowered, in a good way. Imagine lining up on the runway, pushing those throttles forward, and feeling the aircraft leap forward with almost fighter jet urgency. The 757 doesn't just take off, it rockets into the sky. Pilots often call it a performance dream, or as some jokingly put it, the rocket ship. The climb rate is so strong that many airlines use the 757 on routes out of airports with tough conditions, short runways, hot weather, or high altitude, where other aircraft might struggle. It could get airborne with a heavy load, where other planes would need more runway or more favorable conditions. Pilots talk about how reassuring it feels, knowing that no matter the challenge, the 757 will power through. It was even certified for long-haul flights over the Atlantic, thanks to its range and efficiency, which is impressive for a narrow-body jet. Handling-wise, the 757 is often described as crisp and responsive. Pilots say the controls feel direct, like the aircraft is listening carefully to every move they make. It has the right mix of stability and agility, which means it's steady in cruise but also fun to hand fly on approaches. In rough weather, the 757 feels strong, not skittish. Now, if the 757 is the rocket, then the Boeing 777 is the gentle giant. Launched in the mid-1990s, the 777 quickly became the backbone of long-haul travel around the world. It's a wide-body twin jet that can fly some of the longest routes non-stop, and it's powered by engines so massive that they're larger in diameter than the fuselage of a Boeing 737. But despite its size and power, pilots consistently describe the 777 as one of the easiest and most enjoyable big jets to fly. The controls are smooth and predictable. Pilots say the 777 almost feels smaller than it is when you're at the controls because it responds with such grace. For long-haul flights, that matters a lot. When you're flying for 10, 12, or even 16 hours, you want a plane that doesn't wear you out. The cockpit is designed with pilot comfort in mind, and the systems strike a balance between automation and manual control. Unlike some newer planes that do more of the work for you, the 777 still lets pilots feel in charge. That's a big reason they respect it so much. It doesn't fly itself, it works with you. Then there's the raw power. The GE90 engines on the 777-300ER are legendary. Each engine produces over 110,000 pounds of thrust, making them the most powerful commercial jet engines in the world. Pilots say pushing the throttles forward on takeoff feels like unleashing controlled fury. Yet, once airborne, the 777 is calm and stable, a perfect balance between muscle and finesse. Airlines also love the 777 because it's one of the most reliable planes ever built. It has an excellent safety record, and pilots trust it completely on the world's longest overwater routes. Flying a fully loaded 777 across the Pacific requires confidence, and this plane delivers it. If Boeing's strength is in building power and capability, Airbus shines in building clever systems that support the pilot. And no plane demonstrates this better than the Airbus A320. When it was introduced in the late 1980s, it was the first commercial jet to use a fully digital fly-by-wire system. Instead of mechanical linkages between the pilot and the flight controls, everything is electronic, with computers interpreting the pilot's inputs and making sure the plane stays within safe limits. At first, this idea made some pilots nervous, but once they got used to it, many grew to love it. The A320's fly-by-wire system is like having an invisible safety net. It won't let you stall, overbank, or push the plane into unsafe attitudes. That gives pilots confidence, especially in tricky situations. But it's not just about safety, it's also about how the plane feels. The A320's controls are smooth, the ride is steady, and the automation reduces workload on long or busy days. Pilots appreciate how logical the cockpit is. Everything is laid out for efficiency, with side-stick controllers that free up space and feel natural once you're used to them. Airbus also designed the A320 family to be highly consistent. Whether you're flying an A318, A319, A320, or A321, the cockpit looks and feels almost identical. That means pilots can switch between different versions without having to relearn systems, which is a big plus in their careers. Another thing pilots love about the A320 is how it handles landings. Some planes are known for being tough to land smoothly, but the A320 rewards precision. Get the approach right, and it will give you a touchdown that feels professional every time. With thousands of A320s flying worldwide, it has become a trusted companion for pilots across generations. Many of today's experienced captains started their careers on the A320, and they'll tell you it's one of the best training grounds because it teaches solid flying skills while also introducing modern technology. The Boeing 767, on the other hand, is a quieter legend. It doesn't get as much attention as the 777 or A320, but among pilots, it's often remembered with a smile. Why? Because it's one of the smoothest handling planes ever built. Introduced in the early 1980s, the 767 was Boeing's first twin-engine widebody, and it played a huge role in opening up transatlantic routes thanks to ETOPS certification. For airlines, it was a workhorse. For pilots, it was a joy. One of the biggest reasons pilots love the 767 is its landings. It has a reputation for greasers, touchdowns so smooth, passengers don't even realize they're on the ground yet. The 767's wing design and landing gear geometry just work together beautifully, making it forgiving and predictable. Pilots talk about how satisfying it is to flare this aircraft and feel it settle onto the runway with elegance. Even in crosswinds, it has a reputation for staying composed. Many say the 767 taught them what a perfect landing feels like. But it's not just the landings. The overall handling of the 767 is balanced and natural. It's not too heavy on the controls, not too light, just right. On long-haul flights, it's stable and comfortable, which means less fatigue. Pilots who spent years flying the 767 often describe it as the aircraft that made them fall in love with flying wide bodies. It wasn't flashy, but it was trustworthy and kind, the sort of airplane that earns loyalty. And then we have the Airbus A380, the giant of the skies. This aircraft is unlike anything else. With 2 full decks stretching the length of the fuselage, it's the largest passenger plane ever built. It can carry over 800 people in an all-economy layout, though most airlines configure it for around 500 to 600 passengers. For pilots, the idea of flying something this massive might sound intimidating, but the reality is almost the opposite. The A380 is designed so well that it actually handles with surprising ease. Pilots say the fly-by-wire system makes the A380 feel smaller than it looks. The controls are smooth, the plane is incredibly stable, and despite weighing over 1 million pounds at takeoff, it responds predictably. In fact, many pilots describe it as one of the easiest wide bodies to hand fly. The cockpit is roomy and modern, with systems that reduce workload even on the longest flights. And then there's the sheer pride of flying it. Pilots know that when they're at the controls of an A380, they're flying an icon. It's the flagship of any airline that operates it, and passengers are in awe just stepping on board. The A380 is also surprisingly quiet and comfortable. Pilots mention how smooth the ride is at cruise altitude, and how the aircraft feels unbothered by turbulence that might shake smaller planes around. Of course, it does come with challenges. Its sheer size makes ground operations tricky, and not every airport can handle it. But once in the air, the A380 is graceful. For many pilots, commanding the largest passenger aircraft ever built is a career highlight, the kind of thing they'll tell stories about long after retirement. And that's why, decades after their introductions, these 5 planes remain legends in the aviation world. They've proven themselves not just on paper, but in the hands of the pilots who fly them day after day. That wraps up our look at the 5 passenger planes pilots actually love to fly. From the power of the 757 to the elegance of the A380, each one proves why aviation is as much about passion as it is about engineering. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit like, subscribe for more aviation deep dives, and share your thoughts in the comments. Out of these 5 legends, which one would you love to experience the most?